everyone, and welcome back. We played a little bit more Jeskai today. We played this list previously, but we added a couple of things due to a suggestion in the comments. One of the things that we end up picking up is a Narset to kind of basically get rid of that chance that whenever we have a third path going and making all those tokens, that we don't have to necessarily find another mentor or have like a crazy amount of tokens to actually push through. Along with playing this invasion of New Phyrexia, it's got a lot of text like most Magic cards do nowadays. But when it enters, it makes X 2/2 Knights. It's a pretty good rebuild card, or just kind of a card to fire out into the void if the board's empty and we're just trying to get some action to start playing along. And the other thing is, if we get a lot of mana and we start flooding pretty bad, if we play this and then eventually play a Narset after, Narset giving all these tokens prowess is pretty solid whenever you just start casting some little things like a Fading Hope to remove a threat out of the way, or play with fire to deal a little bit of damage to them. And then, or maybe a Lightning Strike or holding up a Make Disappear, and then the prowess gets super intense with the Narset. Other than that, things that we kept in the deck, I can kind of pull aside here. Got one more card, so pretty much these were the changes. I think, yeah. These are the changes, and this was a slight change. This went down to a 1 of to kind of put a second copy of this in. But instead of playing Stoke the Flame as well, we are playing Lightning Strike. And it's pretty solid, definitely. The only big concern is Stoke of Flames was able to answer a Rafine. Lightning Strike has not, obviously cannot. And the other things is Stoke the Flame can pick up a Stomper or like a flipped invasion, so that's something to kind of keep in mind whenever you're kind of thumbing through the deck or like filtering through, is that you won't quite be able to pick them up. Maybe this could be a 2/2 split or something, because I do enjoy playing Stoke the Flame as a tapped out effect that I'm allowed to fire off. But our set has been pretty solid. Sometimes it's pretty slow, like if, for example, if we're playing against mono red. Other than that, we're gonna just kind of hop into the games to see how they turned out today. A Maul we can actually keep. On average, we're probably going to have 2 lands in our opener, at least from what I've experienced so far. It's a little bit nice here to actually have 3 and not have to worry about it so much. Never mind, I guess I want 4. Well, that means we get to play Narset. Remove Skrelv. This Infect or enchantments? Okay. I deal with the Trampler. Not really. Play a tap land. We'll let them go wild here. The only way to really deal with this is to basically Fading Hope bounce it. That can calm me. Or if they just don't put any counters on them, I guess I can. There's always a chance to just, you know, pick them up cleanly, I guess. They have all that. If they have an ossification in their hand, which I can imagine that they do, I'm going to just go ahead and not play anything that they can get their grubby hands on. Now, there's Spirited Boy. Spirited Companion. Another land. There's a rain. We'll bounce whatever one they target. My bad for thinking they had an ossification in hand. They still might, but it's not feeling like it. Get hit for 4. Third path. Third path gonna be good enough. Probably not. Let us play this for 2. If they have to ossification us, let it be a token. Not our Narset. 6/6 Trampler. Not a whole lot I can do. 2/2. Audacity. Going to send it flying. I'm gonna lie to you. I'm not blocking it at all. I still do not think this is going to be enough. I'm at 3. I'm Meeting of the Minds, but this gives everything Prowess, so it's kind of the reason for it. I can't make something massive with another one of these right now, unless they just card cast one. Felt so good. Picked up Skrelv early. Am I even able to chump all that? I can chump 6? Yes. Double block here, and we'll drag Narset to block there. Use those as my blocks. The Meeting of the Minds. And then we will basically ensure that we lose the game with 3 land draws. And Audacity goes in the graveyards with the commies, so they get to pick those back up. Guess we find a Fading Hope, so it's not all lost, but it feels pretty lost. Can I clean up the board somehow? I can play with fire this. I can Fading Hope this. All the commies and stuff don't do anything. I guess I have to remove this. So we'll do this, I guess. Is really how it's going to go down, huh? Well, I have to go to 1. I would prefer not to have any more land if at all possible. Do this. We'll attack. What, here? Maybe? Yeah, I guess so. Audacity here. Prowess will go off. We'll make more things. And then I pretty much ensure that I can pick this up. I probably need to draw with the Teferi. I could potentially tuck something. We know what their hand is as long as they can't get too wild with it. Maybe we are supposed to just play with fire this. I felt like Audacity was a good choice to maybe convince him to block, like I really needed this to flip. I could also definitely see it being wrong. Just 2 mana, that's 2 mana. For now, I can just go ahead and... I gave my Knights an emblem. I hit the wrong button. Oh no. That's a big oops from me. Don't worry, I can't -3 it now. Guess we have to draw because we drew another land and we drew 2 more lands. Everything's coming together exactly as we wanted it to. Yeah, we'll just bid and host. We'll play a beach here. I can Fading Hope that, I guess. Not entirely sure what I need to do here. Back here, Fading Hope here. Could have Meeting of the Minds, but for the love of, if we were to drew another land, I don't know if I could take it. And we would've drew another one. We have Otawara to kind of be a catch-all to everything. They have exactly enough power to basically chump everything out, but we definitely Otawara in response. We're gonna climb back into this game. As I say that, I'm gonna get blown out here. That's generally what happens when I open my goofy mouth. That can calm me. They said they're gonna play this creature for the 3rd time. Update. I have a sneaky suspicion I know what is getting taken. Alright, that's fine. We'll draw a card. We hit a Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike being absolutely huge here. What is the play, opponent? Your declared attackers first. We have a really, really nice play here to make. We're at 1, so... have to be careful how our Otawara decides it wants to tap for us. We need to make sure that we don't mess up. Alright. They're pretty committed with this attack. Let us just make sure we don't mess this up at all. Tap all that. Let's Odawara bounce this ossification. Get our Narset back. That will go back. Our Narset will come in. We'll fire off a lightning strike here. What do we want to pick up? The Kami, so we don't have to necessarily pick it up. Could have went face, but face is the place next turn. Kami going down. We'll block here. You just block here. We're gonna live. I think we're gonna live this game in 1, and I think we're gonna take it home. Well, if that doesn't punch the ticket, I don't know what else will. Prowess across the board. Everything's getting beefed up. And we find our way into that game. I was so ready to just concede because I thought there was 0 chance to get through. But we grinded that game out, surprisingly enough. Living at 1. Oh, Wolf. Welcome. The arena. Alright, well, we'll keep green white again. There's another Skrell. Well, we're going to play our tap land. See how it goes. I guess we could have fired off the Sequin Coast. Ooh. Aya. A little bit different. Even that Skrell behind to protect. Do we have time to play the third path, or do we need to hold up and make this spear? I'm going to be honest. I think make this spear is probably what we have to be keeping back, considering they could tap and add a lot of mana here. Has protection from werewolves. Update. I was right. We definitely needed to counter the thing that they were going to play. First Skrell of attack, staying disciplined. Sometimes it can be very easy to fight what you're supposed to do. That spot. Do we play a mentor here? I kind of feel like we do. It's the only way to kind of grow our board to the size that we need, but we're pretty creature heavy in hand right now. That is not a good sign. Bodyguard, giving Hexproof and indestructible, or only indestructible? Indestructible only. Okay. Well, we have the pieces to connect, so we'll play a welcome. We'll make a creature. Prowess will fire off. We could attack with a mentor, kind of see if they do something a little bit weird, maybe. Then it'll allow us to fire off a Fading Hope one to something. And we want to do it while that's kind of humans you control. So Waza's not available. I'm attacking with a mentor here because I definitely want the option to potentially bounce something. Let's see what happens here. Azaret. Okay. That is a card. Let us wait, I think. I think we have to wait. I can't stop this because of the Skrell that's been in play. They only attack with 1, and it has vigilance for now. They miss. Wow. Okay. So one of the reasons to wait here, by the way, is in case they hit one of these creatures, because these are legendary. Like, we don't want to, say, for example, bounce the Skrelv and then they're able to cast another one. So we're gonna have to pick up the Skrelv now. Kind of hope we hit something, I guess. We have a draw or two to get there. We have decent blocks. We do not need another creature. Indeed, we do not need another creature. Let's play a third path. Skrelv will not be able to give its creatures protection from the colorless that the third path can make. We Fading Hope. A little part of me screams yes, but I think I want to do it right at combat. I don't want to do it now. Nope. We hold off. There's protection from red and black. So whenever they attack, we do have a pretty good protection. Human, the Skrelv's coming down. Let us just bounce what here? Not letting this Hazaret trigger again, I don't think. There's no reason to keep letting them hit their legendaries if we can prevent it. Meeting of the Minds, we're going to get to grow our board massive here. To the point I don't know if they'll actually be able to keep up anymore. As long as this hits any amount of maybe burn spells to some degree. Another Meeting of the Minds. Do we have another blue creature? We do not. Alright. That comes through. What to do here? Do we play a second, third path and just continue to expand our board? I think we're pretty safe to play Sundown Pass. Is it Narset that we play? Problem is they have pretty clean blocks. This is a lot of math to kind of try to figure out, and I really don't want to do it. But I think, like, I could pretty much force them to trade off their entire board here. If I just do it right. Let's cast Meeting of the Minds. I want to do this for my blue. And those colors are fine. Firing all this Prowess off. At some point, I need to close the game. And it could have been, potentially, I'm supposed to play a Narset there. But I'm going to make enough creatures on the back end that I think I'll be fine. There's a lot from my puny little brain to take in. My brain is not adept to do so. Although I think this can potentially be enough. So I'm going to attack with my Prowess creatures. The worst case scenario, they have to kind of block out. They can give them indestructible, but then I think I'll have a good enough backline here. Not have to worry about it too much. Let's attack here. Let's put a Meeting of the Minds on the stack. We'll do a blue here. We'll do this one, and we'll go ahead and do this one because, again, Skrelv can't get protection from colorless on attack. So these are actually our best blockers. This will all happen. Do I have enough for lethal? I have 4, 7, plus 6. That's 13. Plus 4 more. That's enough, right? No, this was blocked. This is not actually going to hit. Okay. I do not have enough. We will intern here. And we'll bend this. And you can coast instead of deserted beach. We'll pass. Is it? So be it. They could have tapped this for mana and saved face and kept this available, but they did not. Attacks. I don't know what they can hit, but we're just going to chump block. If they looked at 6 and they whipped again, I feel so bad for them. Had a great time, thanks. You get to go first, and his hand's like fine on... His hand really kind of leans on this Make Disappear and maybe a couple of these Meeting of the Minds. Well, we definitely need to find a land. Because they got the cute sleeves. Look, he's holding the fish. Already bad news. Need to pick up the Naturalist, maybe? Ooh. We're guessing right today. Very nice. He's picked up. They're attacking us for 2. We find the land when we need it. Absolutely stunning. Let's go ahead and just remove that now and kind of feel out, and then we're holding up and Make Disappear. Don't be afraid. God, I love those sleeves so much. They're so sweet. They miss a land, so I might just... I just keep staggering them. Do I establish... I think I have to take a turn to play this Welcome now. Although, if they get to play like Land Calyx, and I can't remove this, and that was pretty much a punt. I don't know. They had to draw a land, and they're not generally a land-abundant deck, so I'm not too concerned at this present moment. Get hit for 2. I have a commune with spirits. Wonder what they drew then. There's a calyx. That's not good for us. That's not good for anybody. Get a land. Kind of need to. We do, but maybe not the correct land that we'd have liked to hit. We'd have obviously liked to have a red source. But we need to get through this turn, and then unless they play a trampler, we can pretty much figure it out all day. We'll just sit here and stare at each other. Update. Never mind. I lied. They have an ossification. It's pretty good play from them. Being reserved enough to, well, I mean, that also makes this just like a fine play. Yeah, I'm pretty much just going to hit you with lethal. I'm just curious. I want to look now. I think Fading Hope and stuff like that. Where he's just dead. I've had these headphones on all day. That's tough. My ear is itchy. Opponent goes first. Got Fading Hopes in the third path and the Lightning Strike, and hopefully a Narset can kind of build us out of the hole that we might find ourselves in if we miss a land for a couple of turns, or maybe not find something relevant enough to press onward. Well, the value here would be pretty tough. Don't play one. Is it third path time or hold make disappear time? Maybe it's hold make disappear. And we just shut off this flash creature that they play. I'm ready whenever you are. Oh, my boy over there spinning his hand. Ew, big dog. Look at him. He's over there figuring it out. The reason I want to counter this is because I don't want to deal with this followed up by a Lord. And then that two damage, generally not that hard for us to deal with, but it becoming 4 damage is a lot more difficult. Also, the Sky Officer here, definitely allowing them to draw cards would be tough. So we'll play a third path. We'll let them figure out what they want to do next. Maybe we should have bounced this right away, because obviously now they can flash this in response to us bouncing it and then draw an extra card. Which I guess, if that's the end of the world for us, so be it. It's always hard to kind of judge what we want to do. I'd personally like to Lightning Strike this and make sure that we answer it, but that's probably more deserving of our Lightning Strike. Let's go ahead and bounce this now. Take a damage. No flash. Okay. Meeting of the Minds is a good pickup card. We have no white mana. I just realized. There's a veteran. All right. We have options. And he would have just hopped it. Something. We can pick up the Lord, which I don't necessarily think is all that valuable right now. I think getting this out of play is a little bit better. Kind of the creature I can't deal with too much right now. And then just holding off another turn here. Well, not even holding off. I need to get this Narset established to give all these Prowess so I can push forward. Brutal Cathar. Yes, sir. I got a combat trick for you. I'll have you pick it back up. Play with fire is good. We'll go nowhere. We will do this. I'm actually going to tap that for my red mana. Make sure I tap all my creatures for the mana. I want this Stormcarp Coast for this. And now, for our next trick. These ones. I think it's more important to hold up this make disappear while I have time. Well, maybe. No, because if I would have played in land, it would have stayed daytime. let us ensure that we don't have to worry about this Brutal Cathar. Make this appear free here because we'll make another token. Definitely have a lot of 2-drops in their deck, so we're not completely out of the woods. I guess we are. But yeah, the reason you don't play Narset is because they still get the Brutal Cathar, and then we don't have a counterspell, and they just eat up the Narset, and then now we have to find a way to remove their Brutal Cathar to get our Narset back. But either way. All right, so we're gonna do some post-game wrap-up here. Maybe I tuned in a little too quick there, but post-game wrap-up, things that I like. Still, I think this welcome card puts in a lot of value. Maybe a 4 of is a little too much. Maybe we can put this down to a 3 to maybe find some extra spots to play maybe a little bit more spells or something. Not entirely sure, but this definitely does put in a lot of work still. These token producers have been pretty solid and enough to kind of win most games, like on their own, whenever we play them on a clear board and we actually are able to kind of play around. Invasion New Phyrexia is a new card that we added in due to some suggestions that we received in the comments on the last one. The fairy has been fine. We've actually flipped this a lot in order to draw and filter away whenever we're flooding a lot. Also, being able to play this onto an empty board and then play a Narset after. For example, say we put like 3 creatures or something in play. 5 minutes, pretty reasonable. Sometimes with as much as we draw, we have 3 of these in. These can either hit the fairy and flip it, or the invasion and flip it, the creatures it makes. And if we put in a Narset after that, well, now we have 4 creatures and they have vigilance, so like Meeting of the Minds becomes a lot more viable to play post combat instead of kind of having to figure out whether we want to attack at all. Other thing, Lightning Strike has been a pretty good pickup. It's easy to cast with Narset because you can just attack and then fire this off, and sometimes just going faces to place. Play with Fire and obviously Lightning Strike have been a good dynamic duo. There's a Salvation has still impressed. I trimmed 1 just because the matchups I had been playing, it wasn't super relevant sometimes. But again, just being able to play a Monastery Mentor while holding up a Surge of Salvation has been so good. There was one part of the game where we basically got marched, the Blue March, to phase out all of our creatures. We fired off a Surge and it actually follows through, and then we end up winning the game on the spot when we were basically going to get phased out and lose. And there's no other spell that kind of could have kept us from doing that other than a counter spell, but they had mana. So we'd had to be a hard counter spell, and those are a little too expensive for us to play. Other than that, we are still on 22 lands. Could argue to play 21, but most of your openers are only 2 anyway. Maybe you could argue play some Consider. Another card that's pretty decent is a Little Chat, if you do not know what that is. It was a card that you got to play in these token decks a while back because it also has Casualty. And this is basically 2 mana. If you have a Third Path or a Monastery Mentor, Third Path a little bit more so than the Mentor, because obviously those having Prowess is a little more important to keep them around. But this sometimes was just like, this can just be a 2 mana, look at the top 4, pick the best 2, put them in your hand. And that's sometimes pretty solid for us to have. I'm not sure what we do. Maybe to some degree put a Narset down to 2, because again, if you're running into a lot of mono red or like aggro, it's pretty hard to play this and just take the entire turn off to do so. But the matchups you're able to play this, it's super good. And maybe trim down to 3 on this if you kind of want to play a couple of Little Chats. So I could definitely see this being 2 and 3, and then maybe playing Little Chat to get a little more card draw or something else. Maybe Silver Scrutiny is possible to some extent, because sometimes you just want card selection and an abundance of cards and you don't have them. But other than that, the deck again was still super fun to play. I always enjoy putting a Mentor on the stack, considering it's not necessarily that great Pioneer or in Modern or Legacy. Well, it's actually good in Legacy, weirdly enough, but maybe not as much now after a couple prints. I haven't looked at the format in a while. But other than that, sometimes it's really nice to play this and have it be good. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you around in the next one. Thanks for watching.